let's get the situation on the roads. We can talk now to Rhys Williams, who's from the Road Haulage Association, covering in particular Wales and the South West. Welcome, thank you for joining us. What are the latest reports you're getting?
Well, the reports that we're receiving from some of our members are not actually sending their vehicles out unless they've got dedicated and committed deliveries that need to be delivered, so urgent supplies, etc., particularly those that are in the red alert areas. And others are obviously, we've got drivers that have been out all week, so they need to get back. And the message really is that the drivers and the operators are checking with the local authorities, the Met Office, the ports, all of these sort of places who will give advice of what the current situation is. And of course, we mustn't forget that other road users need to be aware of the high-sided vehicles as well, not just the drivers of those vehicles, because when they're passing them, they need to take greater care than usual because the wind could blow those vehicles into them, or if they destabilise those high-sided vehicles by sudden braking, that could cause a problem for the driver of that high-sided vehicle. So, we all need to be aware of it as well as the drivers of these high-sided vehicles.
So you mentioned, particularly in the red alert areas, only drivers who are taking urgent supplies will be going. What sort of supplies would they, and how many vehicles would that mean being on the roads in terms of a proportion compared to normal?
Well, I haven't got any numbers, but I just know that some of our members have reported in that they're only sending out urgent required deliveries. So that would be things like medical supplies and stuff for hospitals or urgent supplies for stores, that sort of thing. Other non-urgent deliveries, some of them are not delivering; they're holding back on. But and also deliveries with shipping containers, that sort of thing, they're not going because the shipside operations have all been paused at the moment.
Must be quite frightening driving a lorry, the vehicle with high sides out in high winds. What's the advice?
It's terrifying. I mean, this sort of wind tests the HGV drivers to the limit of their ability. It really is challenging. Not just the wind, as I say, but trying to look out for other debris, fallen debris, trees, roof pieces falling off, anything that's flying around. And of course, because they're a bigger vehicle, that there's the suction thing as well that they can, as that they're passing other vehicles. They're professional drivers. They're trained to be very alert, but they've got to be acutely alert during these adverse weather conditions.
And have you had reports of any incidents so far?
We've had nothing come in to us at the moment. I mean, like I said, we have had reports that drivers, operators are restricting some of their deliveries, particularly in these red alert areas, South Wales and the South West. I've had reports from members on the South Coast as well who are restricting some of their deliveries and their operations until the winds have subsided.
And just before we let you go, you mentioned actually some, I think, probably quite helpful advice to other drivers when they are encountering high-sided vehicles on the roads. Just tell us what you would say to anyone else that finds themselves having to go out today.
Well, what we would recommend is that we know that people generally don't like being stuck behind an HGV, but please take great caution when trying to pass it, because as I've already said, passing an HGV, you need to give it much greater distance between yourself and the truck than you would normally, because the wind and the suction effect could actually cause an incident where that truck blows into you. So, hold back and only pass if you really do need to.
Thank you very much indeed, Rhys Williams of the Road Haulage Association.